Hello everyone, welcome to Durrett's Take. I'm sorry if my voice ends up being a little bit low today. I have a little bit of sore throat. But it's time to go over my one headliner takeaways from each NFL game from week 14. So let's get started with the Thursday night football game between the Patriots and the Steelers. The headline is Belichick still owns Tomlin. Mike Tomlin has not had a good track record against Bill Belichick, no matter who's the better team in this scenario. Um, and that was on full display in this game after falling down like 21-3 to start the game. It's starting to feel like the Steelers will miss the playoffs, but the next 2 weeks will kind of really determine if I'm wrong or if we can put the nail in the coffin there. Okay, Sunday games. You got the Buccaneers versus the Falcons. Baker adds Falcons to the menu. Baker, despite what some people think of him as a QB, is very capable of leading game-winning drives. He's done that throughout his career, and now he did that once again against the Falcons, and now the Buccaneers are tied, but basically in the lead as of right now for the division. Colts versus Bengals. Bengals not in hibernation after all. After a two-game winning streak, the Bengals are still firmly alive for the playoffs, and they have a manageable schedule, going forward to make things more interesting. Now, Jake Browning did get hurt. I'm not sure if it was his finger or hand or something, but he had to leave the game. If he is fine for next week, then all bets are off. But if AJ McCarron, who recently was an XFL quarterback, has to start, then it's back to hibernation for them. So we'll kind of wait and see on that. Jaguars versus Browns. Flacco is back for a playoff run. It's been a while since Joe Flacco has been the starting quarterback for a playoff team. But if the Browns win another game or two, then that's definitely going to be the case. And Coach Kevin Stefanski said it's Flacco's team for the rest of the season. I did not expect him to be playing this good, not only because of his age and his recent history as a starter, but the fact that he's been on the couch for most of the season and just come in just recently. It helps to have a legit defense, and a good offensive line, skill players and such. But Kevin Stefanski, he's doing a great coaching job this year. Um, Texans versus Jets. Former number 2 overall NFL draft pick shines, but just not the one we expected. We all expected CJ Stroud to look good, but instead it was Zach Wilson in his return from being benched, playing the best game of his career. Had a career high in completion percentage, third best in yards, and tied best for touchdowns and no picks. Since he knows he's getting traded this offseason, he is playing loose and confident, and it showed in his game. If Wilson can continue to play this good, not just be a one-hit wonder like he's had a few games here and there, then it sadly messes up the Jets' chances at getting a better draft pick, but oh well. Rams versus Ravens. The punt return, part 2. Back in week 1, there was a punt return in overtime for the winning touchdown, and now it's happened twice in one season, which kind of feels rare. Ravens got lucky in this game because it felt like the Rams kind of outplayed them, but the Ravens are now in firm control for that number 1 seed. Lions versus Bears. Playing the fields. The Bears will most likely play the field, meaning they'll probably draft, Caleb Williams, or for some reason like Drake May better than Drake May. But Justin Fields showed his case yesterday on why it may not be a 100% slam dunk decision to move on for him since he has such high upside. Panthers versus Saints, a moral defeat. Yes, Saints won by 22 points after being on a losing streak. Most teams will take that. But the problem is the offense was bad once again. It was a putrid offense by Carolina that helped the Saints get the score, make it seem like it's a blowout, basically. So for the problems that the Saints had recently, those are still not fixed after just one game. So this is kind of fool's gold, if you will. Vikings versus Raiders. Dobbs, the astronaut, has crash landed. Dobbs was the talk of the town his first few games in Arizona before flaming out. Now he was the talk at the first few weeks in Minnesota before now he's flamed out again. And after a bye week, he looked worse, and now he's getting benched for Nick Mullins, most likely. So it was a fun run while that lasted. Seahawks versus 49ers. Locke didn't have the right key. It's okay, not a lot of quarterbacks have the answer or have the right combination when the 49ers are fully healthy, but Locke in his first start since being traded to Seattle was, no different. Now, besides one bad pick that he had, I thought he played pretty decently overall, but okay and decently ain't going to cut against 49ers. Bills versus Chiefs, a game of inches. It's a popular phrase in sports, but especially in this case, if wide receiver Kadarius Toney was just a few inches back, then the crucial offsides call doesn't happen. The Chiefs score that touchdown that counts and probably hold on for the win. The Chiefs feel better about themselves especially having a good chance of getting the 1 seed instead of being on a 2-game losing streak right now. They need to be buttoned up for sure if they want to have any chance in the postseason whatsoever, and they better need to start winning games just in general to hold off the Broncos, so that way the Chiefs can win a division at the least. Broncos versus Chargers. Franchise is dead, needs a new upgrade. Herbert is now out for the rest of the season, and reports are that the season Staley will be gone as well, as expected and as he should be. I think the Chargers should embrace a full retool or reload. I won't say rebuild because you don't want to be in rebuild, Justin Herbert. You've already been in a rebuild with Herbert, but you definitely want to be willing to consider a bunch of changes on the roster. And basically, except for Herbert, mostly any other job out there, whether it's like a bona fide starter like Keenan Allen, or Mike Williams or something like that. All the jobs it seems like are up for grabs. Eagles versus Cowboys. Dak for MVP. In all my years watching Dak, I never would expect him to be a legit MVP candidate. But if he continues to play well, especially against the Bills and Dolphins on the road the next 2 weeks, then he may very well win it. Okay, in the Monday night games, we got Packers versus Giants. Better than Broadway. The Giants, for most of the season, haven't been able to say they put on performance that's better than Broadway performance. Well, for this game, they can say that. Defense forced multiple turnovers, and the offense had over 200 rushing yards, led by Barkley and quarterback Tommy DeVito. And DeVito was decisive and made clutch plays throughout the game, and it's just amazing how he's come a long way from sucking against the Jets and Cowboys to now all of a sudden looking like, he's a quality backup. Titans versus Dolphins. When there's a will, there's a way. Being down 15 points with 3 minutes left, that was no problem for quarterback Will Levis as he led his team to a big comeback win. No team this season has come back from being down 14 points with 3 minutes left, so congrats to them on that. Thank you very much for listening to my podcast today. Please subscribe to my channel to learn about me. On Thursday, I'll go over my NFL predictions for the upcoming week. And then on probably Thursday or Friday, I'll come out with my college football bowl predictions. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.